Hey, yo, alright man, look, Zelda enthusiasts around the world are dying to hear more information about the sequel to Breath of the Wild. I know because I revived my long dormant YouTube channel in preparation for this thing, and if I'm that excited about something, then I know people out there are looking for it too. So first and foremost, I want you to understand with absolute absolution, the intent of this video is not to discourage people from theorizing or getting pumped about this game. I don't want to kill your joy or your buzz. This is probably more of an open reminder letter to myself, honestly, because in making these new videos about the sequel lately, I've been taking my fun personal thoughts and speculative ideas that I'd normally keep as little self-musings, and I've been writing, recording, editing, and publishing these ideas onto the internet. When I do that, these self-musings become something more. A YouTube video, potentially a good one, potentially perceived as clickbait garbage nonsense. It's all very subjective, and it depends on whether or not I decide to let myself be led down some leak or rumor rabbit hole and buy into it enough to talk about it as well. Because it's fun to speculate and theorize while we know virtually nothing about the game for absolute sure. But I don't want to go overboard. That's not my thing. It's disingenuous for me to sit in first class at the front of the hype train, because my pre-order is going to activate at the same time as everyone else's anyway, you know what I'm saying? Remember when everyone called Breath of the Wild Zelda U, and the Switch was called the NX and hype was insane? All good times. But in the moment, did it feel like forever? And it'd be a fair shot to point out that as of the making of this video, we still have about 4 months to go until more time has passed since Breath of the Wild was released than the 4-year, 2-month window between its unveiling and its release. And Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year, so it's really not silly to have high expectations. But just think for a moment about what happens to track runners when their hurdles are too high. Me personally, I do my best to keep my expectations realistic, if even existent. But saying, keep your expectations realistic, sounds condescending when you realize how Breath of the Wild did away with as many old conventions as it did and evolved the franchise overnight. It's a big shadow to step out from. So the only expectation I truly have is that the Big N is approaching the creation process with some major, tender, loving care, and they're capable of putting out a solid game when they know the hype is built. And after witnessing the absolute debacle that was the Cyberpunk 2077 release, I'm sure they're paying even closer attention to detail. Anyway, they're not as prone to those kinds of mistakes. They've shown in the past that they make sure to release games when they're finished. I think they've been around long enough to understand the passage of time and how short 3 to 5 years really is, and how much sooner it'll become more than 3 to 5 years ago, yet still set a competitive schedule of big releases. That said, it's entirely possible that their vision for the game is much different from what fans are expecting. But that's what makes all the speculation during this short window of time that seems so long while we're actually living through it so much fun. I enjoy seeing the different ideas people have and theorizing what will be in the game. It's good not knowing the actual vision. When the Zelda developers do stuff we didn't expect, it usually turns out pretty alright. And here's another comforting thought. Think about how there are hundreds of people out there who know what's going on with the sequel to varying degrees. They know the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the dirty deeds. Somebody somewhere out there knows. Imagine that. There's somebody out there who knows the entire story. Somebody out there who wrote it. Others have been animating it, or perfecting the physics, or developing the code, creating the puzzles, or settling on a decision as to what should go inside various small treasure boxes scattered across the map. They know what the new glowing green hand is all about, they know how the new dungeons will be formatted, and they've probably heard Ganondorf's voice actor, probably even met the guy. Thoughts like these are enough to keep me hyped. We'll have new news one day very soon, and one day very soon after that we'll be experiencing it for ourselves. And not too long after that, the game will have already been out for 5 years and we'll be speculating on the next one. Enjoy the anticipation. You'll never feel this way about the game ever again once we move to the next phase of the release. You never know when Nintendo is going to give us something or what it's going to be. This is a meaningful game for them and we don't even know the title of it yet. Realize we have no control over when the game will come out or what it'll be when it does, so there's no point in spending too much energy or getting too anxious about it. At the end of the day, it's a game. No matter who's developing it, it's bound to be imperfect in some way. Some expectations won't be met. It's fun to get pumped. Again, I encourage people coming together in a community to share the joy of what this game could be, and there are far, far worse things people are spending their time and energy on out there. But putting a game up high on a pedestal is an easy way to get disappointed later. That's the double-edged sword of hype and setting expectations in general. But that's what updates and patches are for, so wabi-sabi. The point here is that I started making my first real personal deep dive into the announcement trailer towards the end of 2020. The hype I felt when I first saw it in 2019 had worn off, and I never really been one to wear rose-tinted glasses anyway, so it was my first time to really take a close look. While I've been looking forward to it and I plan to pre-order and play the fuck out of it when it does come out, I've not been driving myself crazy constantly obsessing over when we'll finally get updates and the actual release. Gaming is fun, talking about gaming is fun, but gaming media is a bit of a hype job and it can become addictive. Don't fall into the trap. Don't fall into leaks and rumors and social media rabbit holes and the whole nine. Think for a moment about Age of Calamity. There was not a hint of a rumor until Aonuma got on camera and did a 13-minute presentation himself. Believe me, those non-disclosure agreements are tight as fuck. Now, if they were that hush-hush about a spin-off collaboration hack-and-slash prequel Zelda wannabe game, imagine how tight they are about the sequel to Breath of the Wild that everyone actually wants and is clamoring for. No, seriously, when I first heard about Age of Calamity, it kind of felt like when you're at a restaurant and you think they're bringing your food to the table, but it's actually somebody else's order, and then you're just like, When the game is ready, it'll be ready, and when it comes out, it'll come out. I'm honestly happy that we're even getting a sequel at all. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Leave yours in the comments. Did I miss anything interesting? I want to know. And of course, like and share the video if you got something out of it. Subscribe if you're new and you want to stay current. Hit the bell to catch things first. It's all free. You can change your mind at any time, and it supports the channel so much it's insane I can't even explain. It's the ultimate win-win. Anyway, thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, stay well, stay cool, and always keep punching out there. Aloha.